Hello, everybody. Welcome to the special Ultra Podcast live stream. Today, we are going to be joined with a special guest who recently completed the Arch to Arc. And that is someone who joined me on the podcast a little bit earlier. So if you haven't checked out his episode of the podcast yet, please go into and check out the podcast episode. But joining me today from his home in Brisbane, Australia, is none other than Mr. Shane Kent. Hey, Shane, welcome back.
G'day, Larry. Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Oh, what do we got there? It blurred out. Oh, are you having
It's
a
a
beer?
Guinness.
Ah,
It's a breakfast
Guinness.
Guinness. Not
Breakfast
racing
Guinness.
anymore.
Yes, awesome. So for you, it is early morning in Australia. Is that correct?
It is 9 a.m., so it's a bit late. So sun's out, birds are out. It's a great morning.
Awesome, awesome. And how have you been doing? How have you recovered from this amazing feat that you undertook?
I've been home for about a week now, getting back to the daily grind of working and cleaning up the house and coming to terms with waking up and not doing anything, not having an alarm, not having to get out of bed at stupid o'clock,
Right.
and just mentally adjusting to normal life, I think it's called.
Yeah. Well, how long have you been home? How long did you get to spend a little bit of time there? I think your plan was to come back pretty much right away.
We had about 4 days in France afterwards, which was probably perfect.
Yeah.
Just allowed, I suppose, the myself and the crew just to relax, not
Mhm.
to busy ourselves with, as I said, like the daily grind. But I think the first night we went to bed at 4:30 p.m. and woke up at 9 a.m. the next day. It almost continued like that with 6 or 7 p.m. Uh, bedtime and 9 a.m. wake up time for a
Oh, yeah.
couple of days just to get uh, over that lack of sleep the sleep deprivation we went through.
Yeah. And did you do anything for recovery over those couple days? Like, were you in some boots, or what were you doing?
Oh, we had the most specific recovery process there is. We did about 25,000 steps a day being a tourist.
Oh, yeah.
We just kept the body moving was the goal. So
Yeah.
have a good sleep, have a good breakfast, but keep the body moving a bit slowly, a bit slower than normal.
Mm.
Trying to keep up with Tris, but yeah, just keep moving. We didn't have the weight allocation to take everything over that we could for recovery. We didn't want to get that far.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You got to take a lot of stuff to make this happen. You don't want to be without something, but I guess the recovery is kind of the afterthought.
Absolutely. I think we took about 57 kilos between two of us,
Oh, wow.
including bikes, nutrition,
Yeah.
wetsuits.
And you had
And
some
then I
stuff
think we
shipped
only
there
had,
as well, is correct?
oh, look, I love planning. That's the aim of the game here. And working with Aid Station, we got my aid shipped over there 2 weeks prior. So we knew it was definitely there, which
Yeah.
just took a big load off my mind because, you don't want a bag to go missing with all your stuff in there.
Right. Yeah. And how about your 15 minutes of fame? Is that up yet, or are people still wanting to shake your hands and have you kiss their babies?
Look, I work in a primary school, if you remember. So the 15 minutes was about half an hour on Monday when I had the guard of honor and slapping all the kids' hands, running into their assembly, and then sitting up on stage. So that was actually, uh, it was really, really nice to see these kids actually being involved.
Yeah.
I thought, it was just their teachers pushing it, but talking to the kids afterwards, the teachers had that live tracking up on the school screen while they were busily studying, let's say.
Right. Well, that's awesome that they were able to follow along as well, and I know how important it is for young kids to be able to have that someone to look up to that they know, because it becomes so much more real for them other than just that person that's on the TV screen. So for them to be able to come and talk to you about it afterwards must be, pretty special for them.
Absolutely. I've said to myself, I need to give these kids time. I can't be too busy. I can't say I'm doing tuck shop or whatever. So I make sure I hang out the window and answer their questions. Also try to go into the classrooms when I'm not working and just give them a bit of insight to what the race was all about, especially in that lead up. There was a lot of questions about pooing in your wetsuit.
And what was the answer to that?
What, in training or in reality? Like what?
In reality, when you're out in the middle of the English Channel.
Well, it's a big long story, Larry, because what happened in the swim was a direct result of what happened in the run. So, I'll cover that
All right.
as we move through the race.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, we are going to go kind of stage by stage through the race. I have some numbers here for you to speak to. Tell us a little bit about these numbers that come up.
Sure. So we started, unlike traditional triathlons, we started with the run, which for me is is my second strongest leg. Like I wasn't too worried about the run. It was in my head, it was just 3 marathons.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Just.
I predicted, yeah, well, because then you just tick one off at a time. Um, the run, yeah, was from the center of London, so Marble Arch, all the way down to Dover, passing some magic scenery and also passing some pretty awesome, ordinary scenery because it's 135, 137 kilometers. I've got 129 there because I kept pausing my watch and pretty fatigued by the end. So I stopped doing that by the end of it because, it's just a waste. And Strava wants to know the entire distance.
Right.
From there, we had a 6-hour break into the swim. And now, Dover to Calais, a traditional swim is about 38 kilometers, I think, point to point. As you can see, I took the real long way.
Well,
I could have swum to
the
Dover
38
and Calais and back.
kilometers, the 38 kilometers is a straight route, which no swimmer can do, right? Like,
That's right, yeah.
yeah. So how did yours,
Well,
how does yours look compared to other swimmers in the last few years? How much distance did you cover?
but they normally swim about 50 something,
Okay.
as low as 40 as well.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
mine was, it has a very high point at the top there towards Belgium.
Right.
And then I didn't actually go as low as most people, and I kind of cut in when the tide changed. And then the easy part, just a 290k bike ride downhill into Paris. That was the best part, obviously. The
Yeah.
easiest part.
Yeah.
When you ride and you swim, if you stop running or stop swimming, you stop. But in the bike, if you stop pedaling, you still move forward.
That is true. That is excellent. Yeah. Well, we do have some of that 15 minutes of fame that I'd like to share as well. And
Sure.
it's from local news. I guess it's probably the national news in Australia. Is it 7 News? So they did a story
That's right.
on you. I just want to share that. And it kind of it'll give the highlights and tell pretty much the whole story for you. And then we can come back and hit on each of those different parts. So let's take a look at that.
It's go time!
Under the cover of darkness, Aussie Shane Kent takes on the world's toughest triathlon, 483 kilometres ahead of him, but with time to smell the roses.
And my philosophy is just because something's hard doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. And this was definitely pretty hard.
First running from London's Marble Arch, 140 kilometres to Dover.
Can't quite lift my legs. We're going to need to run again. So this is how you start them up.
His late mother Maria inspiring him with each push. She died of the rare neuroendocrine cancer 4 years ago, but was unknowingly fighting it for 7 years.
I'm seeing some old ladies coming out of their retirement home and asking, what was I doing and what was I doing it for? And I suppose getting a little bit teary, telling them why I was out there, trying to raise money for my mum.
The swim across the English Channel pushing his body to the limit.
I was hallucinating. I thought my arms didn't belong to me.
Shane is clear on the water.
The finish line, a 291 kilometre ride away to the Arc de Triomphe, arriving in Paris with an Australian record, 57 hours, 37 minutes on just 4 hours sleep, and close to $15,000 raised for cancer awareness.
I know she'd be super proud as well.
In London, Jacqueline Robson, 7 News.
Well, that's pretty sweet. That's a great summary of what happened for you, and I'm looking forward to getting more details for each of those. Right now on the screen is a QR code, and that goes to your fundraiser for the cancer fundraiser that you were doing.
Thanks, Larry.
How did that go for you? The fundraiser. What was your goal, and what are you at now?
So the goal was to get this up and running and start it slowly. We did a fundraising dinner in May to, let's say, launch my race and let everyone know what I was doing. Then I was a little bit quiet because I think sometimes people over push, or just you get a bit of intolerance to people trying to push their donations. So I didn't do anything right up until the race, where when I started the race, we sent out the code, we sent out the link and told everyone what we were doing. Through the run, started to generate some interest, a lot of people getting on to our dot tracking. But it wasn't until I finished the swim, when people knew that I was actually going to finish the race, that it really ramped up. I think in the last part of the swim and during the ride, we raised $9,000. So over the period of about 10 hours.
Amazing.
Sitting at about 16 and a half in total now, which is fantastic. My goal was 5.
Oh, incredible. Excellent. Yeah. Well, you got a lot of friends out there in the ultra world that are willing to support you and make sure that happens for you, and in memory of your mother, I'm sure. So if anybody wants to donate there's the QR code. I'll bring it back up again at the end of the live stream. And I also have that link in the show notes from the episode that we did together. So lots of ways to find that.
Thank you, Larry.
Yeah. Well, let's start getting into the different facets here. I got a few photos here that I want to bring up, and maybe you can tell us what's going on with these. So the first one here looks like maybe a pre-meal.
Yeah, look, in the UK is famous for its curries and fish and chips. So we had to make sure that we squeezed as much culture in as possible. So before we left to go down to Dover, we went to I think it was a Nepalese restaurant off the top of my head, and had our host order some dishes for us.
Oh yeah.
Nothing too spicy, but it definitely kept the engine going. I was definitely pretty regular after that. I know it was a bit of a risk, but we had to do it.
That's a risk when you know you're going to be in your wetsuit all that time, for sure.
And I think this was about 4 days prior, so it was okay.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I also saw you were, miserably going around to different bars and having some Guinness while you were there as well.
Look, we had to educate. Well, first of all, we were miserable because our wives kept telling us that we're on holidays, and we said, no, we're working and we're not having a good time. So, and then we had to educate people on how many carbohydrates are in beer.
Right. Yes.
Which is 18 grams. And then to put that in perspective of the amount of carbs that I need every half an hour, which was 60 grams.
Yeah.
So it was education. It was work and education.
Yes. Yes. And you did get down to Dover, and you were previewing the run and things like that. So is this kind of the spot where you left from? What is this photo of?
So this is, the White Cliffs of Dover. And for people that have not been there before, it's quite impressive. It does run that coastline all the way around the corner. This was near our finish line. So we were just going out for a tourist day just to see what it was all about, but also just to get an understanding of the descent that I'm going to have to do, because we were running at the top, and then we knew we had to get down to sea level. So in that video from Channel 7, you saw me running. I wouldn't say it was running, but trying to run down the hills, and it's quite hard on your quads after. I think that was within the last 10K. So I'd done 115 kilometers, and my body was pretty broken.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. For people that are watching on the live stream, if you want to ask Shane a question, please just put it in the comments, and we'll bring it up on screen, and we'll see what it is. Or if you got some kudos for Shane, Shane, and want to show him some love, please join us in the comments, and we'll put those up on screen. So we're talking about the food and the fueling and the carbs and things like that. I got another video that I'm going to put up here that was taken. Tell us about this one here.
I present to you the
Maybe we'll let it
platter
run. We'll let it
for
run. We're going to hear it.
athletes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm an endurance athlete. I can eat that.
Yes, you can,
Oh, look at
Shane.
that plate. What a platter. I'm going to have that one first. That one.
Nice pose. Nice pose.
Yeah. Yeah, look, we can't get too serious in races like this. I think, as you know, Larry, I'm not a very serious person. And it was actually quite nice to eat off a plate instead of eating off the back of the van. Nutrition, this race was all about nutrition, really. It was, you know, if we stuffed some element up in training, or if we didn't do anything right in the race, we knew we were going to have to pivot and do something different. And that happened. So I engaged the services of a dietitian last year. She'd been working with me for every week. We had a catch up to get the nutrition on point. And wouldn't you know it, Shane decided to do something new on race day and stuff up his nutrition. I can kind of blame Tristan for this, but not really. We introduced a new protein powder, like a carbohydrate powder to use.
Yeah.
And the only way to describe it is it tasted like a really clean gym. Like, it was disgusting.
Okay.
But it had all the right ingredients. It had all the carbs. It had all the salt. I'd never tried it before.
Yeah.
And by the time that video came along, I wasn't very hungry. They'd phoned the nutritionist and they said, he's not hungry, and his guts are getting bigger and bigger. And what we kind of established is that at the start of the race, I was doing quite well, but then although I was eating all my carbs and everything was on point, I wasn't processing it. So I wasn't weighing, wasn't doing all the normal movements that you're supposed to.
Yeah.
And I was running out of energy. So we had to quickly switch to salt and sugar. And when that didn't work, we actually stopped the nutrition altogether and let my body process what was in my guts.
Right.
And I had once we had that information and we were moving forward, I had such a better run. So I had like a really good 30 kilometers, a pretty ordinary 20 kilometers, a really good marathon. And then by the time I got to that last marathon, I'd kind of already done the damage.
Right.
Trying to eat again, trying to get back on track. And my body was still trying to process everything. So I had eaten enough, but my body wasn't processing it.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's not the way you want to start off this adventure, for sure. But you know, being a veteran and having your dietitian to call, I guess you're able to pivot and make it work for you.
Yeah, that's right. Look, we when I say we, I think this is not just me. This was my whole team.
Yeah.
We plan, but we also don't plan too much. So when you do have to pivot, it's not such a big shock.
Right.
So pivoting, we didn't have any coffee to begin with, and the plan was not to have much caffeine, because we want to sleep after the run.
Yeah.
But with my body not working, 200 milligrams of caffeine straight away to try to make myself go to the toilet, and trying to keep on top of that with Coke and everything. It was delicious, but it still didn't do the job. And I wasn't even aware. Like, my crew just kept it away from me. They just said, you know, you don't need to eat now, just keep running.
Right.
Here, try this, try that, you know. And my spirits lifted, and I was happy, and they were happy, and moving forward. And then, you know, it's like a ton of bricks at the end.
Yeah. Well, I think for your crew, you know, we want to have fun with the crew as well, and they want to have fun with you. I got an example of that, and maybe this goes with your bloated belly. Maybe it's just making fun of your regular belly. I don't know. Let's take a look at this one.
Energy.
Neil's doing his best run like Shane impression.
Look, I wouldn't say it was motivational, but it was definitely entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah. But your crew, they're there to poke some fun, but they also do a lot of work. Here's Neil again.
Yeah.
Stretching you out a little bit?
Yeah, look, again, don't do anything new on race day. I bought a new pair of shoes the day before we left. Actually, the day we left, because we had an afternoon flight. And they were the shoes that I like to wear, and they were half a size bigger, and everything was going well. But just hip flexors and glutes are my main issues when I run, and a bit of on the road kind of physio made a world of difference, even if it was just mental.
Yeah.
He was great. The crew were fantastic, Larry. The crew would have been bigger, so there would have been a bit more rotation with sleeps and maybe even some people to help me run. But we actually got called to go ahead with the race 2 days earlier than we thought.
Oh, okay.
And the international crew that I had from Ireland and Scotland couldn't make it. So instead of having a crew of 4, we had a crew of 2 that had to tag team the whole race.
Right. Yeah. And do social media at the same time as trying to keeping everybody up to date on the WhatsApp. Yeah, that was important too. Yeah. Now you did run through the night. You started, I think it was 11:30 p.m. in London. And when looking at your video, I unfortunately was not able to get that video to run here, but you even messed up right at the beginning of the run. You ran right into a red light, didn't you?
No. See, the race organizers said, if you're ready to go, you can just go.
Right.
And the time will start when you go. So I'm standing at Marble Arch, and there's a green man to cross the crossing.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to start my run and then get hit with the red. And I was watching and I was waiting through that whole live video. I was like, it's got to turn red soon, then I'll go. And it never turned red. And countdown. I was like, no, I'm just going to go. So, of course, as soon as I get there, it turns red. But I just crossed through it anyway because it only just turned red into the very dark Hyde Park. Because I didn't want to start the race by stopping my watch 35 meters from Marble Arch.
Yeah, no, that would not have been good. Yeah. And what was what was it like at the start for you? What was the energy like? I mean, it's you, the race official, your 2 crew, and anyone else there to see you off?
Look, there was a great contingent of locals that like to hang around Marble Arch at 11:30 at night with their Jamaican music, and they were unaware of what was going on and how important it was for a few people. I was probably the only person in a high-vis vest as well.
Yeah.
Look, I really enjoyed the start, not because that it was low-key, but I've been training for a 10 p.m., 11 p.m., 1 a.m. starts for my runs anyway, just in case.
Yeah.
And it kind of all fell into place. That training, the mindset of just running through for the first 6 hours in the dark, dodging people coming out of the bars, not getting annoyed by traffic. It's a big thing. When you start your race, you want to go fast, you want to do these things, but I knew just to follow the route, stick to the game plan, and meet the crew 16 kilometers out of London.
Right. And I know when we talked on the podcast, you were saying that you didn't really know what the route was going to be. You were not too worried about it. You were just like, well, I'll find the crew. They'll guide me along the way. So was it clear? Was it easy for you to find the route? Did you get lost at any point on the run, or was it all good?
If you don't get lost, you're not having a good race.
Okay.
That's my philosophy. I loaded the route on my watch, and that was kind of like my Bible.
Yeah.
My biggest headcanon, though, was that it was counting down the kilometers. So as soon as I started, it was saying 139 kilometers to go, 138 kilometers to go. So it was and I had to look at it at every intersection, especially through London, until I met my crew. And then the game plan was for them to leapfrog like we do in Ultraman, just leapfrog ahead. On the run, leapfrog ahead until you can't see me, and then just sit in the car and let me go past.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in the back streets of London all the way down to Dover, there's not too many places to pull over. So there were periods where I was by myself and literally looking at my watch going, is this the corner?
Yeah.
Having a little bit of self-doubt until I saw their headlights or they came running at me saying, we're up here, we're up on the corner.
Yeah.
So I didn't take a wrong turn. I just didn't go the correct way.
Okay. And for this race, do you have to go back and get on course, or is it like as long as you're going to Dover, you can kind of get there on your own course?
I did go a longer way, so
No penalty.
I was still heading in the same direction.
Right.
I just didn't go the safe way. I went down, ran through the roundabout, ran on the other side of the roundabout, and kept going instead of going on the flyover, which was next to me.
Okay.
Which, look, for me, running next to, running on a highway where the cars are going 100 and 110 kilometers an hour is pretty scary.
Yeah.
So I wanted to take that off route,
Yeah.
and at least they're only going 60 or 90, and I can not get hit by a car. But as a runner told me that I was running with, if you get hit by a car at 60k or 110, you're still dead.
Yeah.
So I just took that philosophy with me anyway.
Well, the videos at night actually show kind of how dark it is in the areas that you're running. So I don't have a lot of those, but I thought I'd run this one for you.
How you feeling, Shane?
Oh, look, I've been better, but not too bad. I'm not pushing too hard. I'm eating well, listening to this great motivational podcast on the 515 Ultra podcast. This guy, some ultra endurance athlete, just talking about how he does it. You should listen to it. It's good. Halfway through it, can't remember his name.
I was
Absolute
listening to
legend
myself.
in the area of eating.
All right, keep at it.
Yeah.
So you're listening to your own episode while you're out there running. Yeah. And what did you think? How did you perform in that episode? Were you happy with it?
Oh, look, it's a little bit narcissistic, isn't it, listening to yourself? But it was just nice to have someone with me, even if it was myself.
And me.
Running along. Okay.
I was there with you.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, two people. Yeah, that's who I'm referring to. Yeah, look, I can't remember much. You know, we don't really commit too much to memory when we're out on the run, but it was, yeah, rolling through those podcasts were great just to, even if you just pick up tidbits yourself or, oh, I remember saying that, or
Yeah.
I should have said something else, or what an idiot. It was nice to have, that's why I listen to the podcast. It's nice to have someone with me,
Right.
talking to me. It was quite dark, as you saw there, so I had my head torch on, but I also had a reflective vest that also lit up.
Mm-hmm.
That just gave me and the crew a bit more safety. So that red flashing light in the back, I see a lot of runners that don't really do that, but I picked that up in training, that I'd rather look like a dick and have a red flashy light either from my bike or with that vest while I'm running. In Australia, we also run on the road a lot because it's a lot safer. Our footpaths aren't the flattest. In the race, I was running on the road as well, facing oncoming traffic, and then get off and go on the footpath.
Yeah.
The vest, they kind of gave me the shits by the end because it was, 32 ounces too heavy kind of thing. And by the end, you see I'm not wearing it because, those little things just I crack the shits with.
Yeah. So you get to the end of your run. Did you take a break at that point? The plan was to take a break before the swim. Tell us about the transition time there.
Sure. So we finished in Dover, which was great, right on the water there where the first swimmer set off 150 years ago. We went from there directly to the hotel, and working with the nutritionist again, the original plan was to eat lots of pizza, eat lots of carbs, get some rest, eat, get ready for the swim. But because I'd had those gut issues to begin with, and I was storing a lot of the food, it was lolly snakes, chocolate milk, feed up, and rest. So not much nutrition at all because we knew I already had it stalled, and just try to get my feet under control because I think I will lose about 6 toenails, and to get them all bandaged up so I don't have to worry about it for the next 2 days.
Yeah.
And it was a 6-hour period. So we finished at 5:30 p.m. and we had to be at the harbour at 11:30 p.m.
Okay.
So we had a six-hour window to get back, shower, eat, debrief, lie in bed, toes to be fixed.
Yeah.
get up and go to Dover. So I had about 2 hours sleep with the noise cancelling headphones on while the crew were madly getting ready for the second section of the race.
Oh yeah, yeah. And so at that point, what were you thinking about as far as your gear on the swim? What were you planning on wearing, and did you go ahead with your original plan? What did you wear on it?
The original plan when we spoke was I was going to wear a thermal wetsuit underneath, my wetsuit over the top. I was going to have gloves on, I was going to have booties, I was going to have everything as warm as possible with the water temperature 16 degrees. When we got there, the water temperature was 19.5, which is
Oh,
a
wow.
huge difference.
Yeah.
So we had to quickly pivot. As I said, because the race was called ahead 2 days prior, I had one swim before we went for the actual swim. So I just had my one wetsuit on, booties over my feet, because at the start of the race and at the end of the race, you got to walk over those sharp rocks to get to the beach and to stand up.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to have my feet covered and protected, especially since the run kind of wrecked them. And then just the head cover as well.
Yeah.
Again, don't do anything new on race day. I was wearing a new cover that went all the way down to my shoulders, because one of the biggest things I was worried about was my neck getting chafed by the wetsuit.
Yeah.
I hate that. Even in an Ultraman, my neck chafes.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend, I think it's a hub cap that goes all the way over and all the way down. I didn't have to worry about chafing for 17 and a half hours of swimming.
Nice. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at that swim. I got a video of you getting some food out on the swim, and you had talked about you don't actually grab onto the boat and take your food. They toss it out to you. So let's take a look at that, and you can describe that for us.
Yeah. This is probably early in the swim because I'm not getting washed backwards and the boat is staying still. Everything's thrown out on a rope. The black shaker bottle has my nutrition in it. The pink water bottle is supposed to have Listerine, and the blue water bottle is supposed to have water. Clearly marked water and Listerine on the sides of the water bottle.
Oh, and you're asking for antihistamines at the end.
Yeah, my nose kind of gets clogged up with the salt water, and we like to conduct medical experiments as well. So 30 antihistamines over the course of 18 hours is okay. Yeah.
And was that just antihistamine, or was there like acetaminophen in there, or like what was it? You don't know.
Not my job. Tristan just puts it in. I just drink it. Pretty much we had whenever he saw me starting to blow my nose or being in discomfort, antihistamine, and when I complained about being sore, Panadol. So I think we had 28 Panadol as well to keep me going. But back to the feeding.
Yeah.
Just want to point out that we had 3 water bottles attached to that line.
Very clearly marked, you said.
Very clearly marked with Listerine and water. And probably 6 hours into the swim, I've asked for my first lot of Panadol, and they've thrown me the water bottle. I've picked up the blue water bottle. I've popped it. It's gone like a Panadol should, a water dissolvable Panadol. And I've drunk the 300 mils, 250 mils, and it turns out it was Listerine that I'm supposed to rinse my mouth out and spit it out to keep my mouth from deteriorating. It was pretty disgusting. Not the worst thing I've had that whole swim, but that was the last time I had Listerine, and I was pretty angry with the crew then. I'm very sorry for my anger outburst when I asked them what color are these water bottles. And I suffered the consequence of that, of not washing my mouth out with Listerine afterwards. I think I mentioned it in the original podcast to keep your mouth from falling apart. So for the next 12 hours, I never had any Listerine.
Wow.
I'm still suffering now. I think it's been nearly a week and a half, 2 weeks, and I still can't taste anything that's not super sweet or super salty.
Oh.
Or beery.
Yeah.
So, things always go wrong.
Yeah.
Especially in such long races. Just got to keep moving forward. I couldn't use it as an excuse to stop because it's just Listerine.
Yeah.
But it was probably a good way to make me not go to the toilet. Back to one of your original questions. I never had a code brown in my 18 hours of swimming.
Okay.
which I was very happy with.
Yeah. Well, during that 18 hours of swimming, you're in the English Channel. There's a lot going on there. It's still open channel for all the boating and things that are going on. So this next video is you out
Shane's
there
going for a cruisy swim in
with
the
some
channel.
freighters.
Huge ass container
Yeah,
ship passing us by.
I could hear it, but I couldn't see it because I wasn't allowed to look up. So all I did was look at the boat to the right-hand side, and at the end of that clip, I look up and I'm like, "Oh my God, there's a boat." Tristan says, "Yes, keep swimming. There's no love there.
Yeah.
Just keep swimming," kind of thing. But there was freighters coming up and down the channel,
Yeah.
and then across the channel were all the ferries as well.
Yeah.
So
And this is why you
because I
need the
went
guide
so
boat,
high,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone's aware that you're in the water, but because I went so high up the channel and then came back down, I actually crossed all of the ferry crossing channels as
Twice.
well. Yeah, twice. Lucky me. So ferries to Calais, ferries to down to, I think it's to Ireland, or down and up.
Yeah.
So although I couldn't really see them, I could definitely feel them as they went past because the wake from the boats.
Right.
Just kind of gave you a little bit of a wake up call. You're puttering along and then suddenly you get washed to the side, or a face full of water and you've got to drink that salt water so you don't vomit up your nutrition. Yeah, and you could hear the freighters coming across, so you could hear that dull thud, 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 thud.
Right.
And then when it crosses in front of you, the thud, 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 thud as it leaves.
Okay.
So that was probably my only cool experience. The rest of it was pretty shit.
No wildlife, no dolphins, no whales, no sea lions.
Bioluminescent jellyfish at the start in Dover. So whenever you hit them, they would light up. So you couldn't see anything. You'd hit them, then they'd run down your body. You can feel them run down. And then you do your next one kind of thing. And they were probably there for the first half an hour, which was really awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And then in Calais, they had the really big blue ones just everywhere. So you kind of get stung with them, but you don't really care because I can't feel anything anyway.
Right. Wow. Well, there was some beautiful pictures taken as well. You get some like golden hour photos. There's one with your arm coming out of the water, and again,
a bit high. The arm's a bit high if you ask my swim coach.
Yeah. And then this one I've actually got on the screen twice so that you can kind of get a good look at where you are in it, because you're cut off on the big photo. But like that's pretty scenic. That must have been nice, or not? You didn't really notice any of that?
Not really. I think so. The swim started at 12:10 p.m. So by the time the sun rose at about 6:30, I was just happy for the sun to come up, that I knew there was a timing point. I didn't really have an understanding of how long I had been swimming. Like the swims were every half an hour, but it's a bit of a blur. This shot, I remember the sun coming up. I remember the sun on my face as it came up. And then I felt a lot of joy when I saw my crew trying to shield themselves from the sun. They got severely sunburnt that day. And it just gave me that little bit of joy that I was swimming with the sun behind me and they had to look at the sun while I was swimming.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at you coming ashore as well. We got this one on video. It was in the Channel 7 news, but let's take a look at that.
So to finish your swim, you've got to come all the way to shore. You've got to take 2 steps away from the water, and then you have to raise your arm, which is
Found the sand. Trying to stand
why
up.
it's taking so long. That's a boat in the background to the right.
Shane is clear on the water. Now. Congratulations. Wow.
Oh, look at that puffy face.
Yeah, take a look at that. You look like a walrus coming out of the water there with that mustache on.
Yeah, my body had kind of absorbed a lot of the water swimming for that long, and with the pressure of the wetsuit, and then when I took my goggles off, there's a bit of a negative pressure around my eyes that just pushed all the fluid to my face. And by the time I got back to the boat, I actually couldn't see because my eyes had closed over.
Oh yeah.
with all of that fluid.
Yeah.
And the only way to get rid of it was to tilt my head to the side and rub my eyes and just feel all the salt water and fluid come out of my eyes.
Mm.
And that's how I slept in the car afterwards, just trying to get that
Yeah.
salt water out so I could see for the run.
We got
Oh,
that.
what a perfect picture. The Hilton Eat Your Heart Out. Look at that. That's I was hot, I was cold, I was sunburnt in my face and my hands. Yet that was probably the best sleep I had in the whole trip.
Oh yeah. And how long did you sleep before you started on the bike ride?
So we had a mandated 3-hour break between the finish of the swim and the start of the bike ride. It took 45 minutes to get back to Calais, so I had a 30-minute nap in the boat. And then when we got to Calais here, I think I'm wearing my budgie smugglers and just that very fantastic windbreaker. So beautiful. Had about an hour and a half in the car, didn't eat anything, had a quick sip of water. And I knew that I just needed to have a quick nap and reset my body.
Mm-hmm.
This was 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the afternoon. And the crew were just sitting outside the car, just getting ready for the ride, just relaxing and making sure the bike was ready, making sure we had all the nutrition ready, and even debriefing the swim as well for those people that weren't on the boat.
Yeah. And were you catching up on your social media at that time too? Were you checking in on the people that were sending you best wishes, or was it just
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
stay focused and
I
do
phoned
what
my
you need to
wife.
do to get ready?
I phoned my wife when I got in the boat, so she knew I was alive.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, she was a bit worried about that. Also to tell her that I finished, because she knew I wouldn't stop until I was finished. And she was very worried that I'd get pulled from the water. People get pulled from the water all the time.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me, both Arch to Arc and English Channel. If you're not going to make it,
Mm-hmm.
there was one person pulled that day because they weren't going to make it, but I also beat a relay team, which I was pretty happy about.
Oh,
So there was
wow.
someone else out
Nice.
there that was slower than me. There was also about 6 people that were faster than me, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that swam a straight line.
Right. Yeah. Now, is swimming a straight line based on your boat pilot, or is it just based on your speed and what the boat pilot needs to do to get you there?
I was very honest with my boat pilot. I told him my speed, and that's why we left so early and we caught a little bit of a tide to begin with, and then we caught the main tide all the way up and the main tide all the way down.
Okay.
Those people that are stronger swimmers, they actually left probably 4 hours later. So they caught the back end of that strong tide, but they were able to keep swimming through it.
Mm.
And then they caught the next tide all the way down and did a less of a swim, less Ks and less time as well.
Yeah.
Because they're stronger and they can swim through it. Although it does this,
Right.
I was actually facing France the whole time. The boat is actually drifting up and I'm drifting up as I'm swimming.
Right. Yeah.
And then, so I actually never saw France until we did that final kick.
Mm. And then once you get into France, of course, you have to get some French food. We got you here in a video with a little pit stop.
Yep.
Do you dip your croissant in your coffee?
Yep.
And then do they suck it out like a Tim Tam?
Give it a go.
I can't. My mouth is too cut up from last night, Tris.
Okay.
Yeah. Trish didn't get that joke, but my mouth was ruined, absolutely ruined from the salt water.
Yeah.
The probably 8 hours prior. We made the assumption that when you leave Calais, France being a highly populated area, that there would be service stations and 24-hour McDonald's and places to stop along the way to refuel. We left at 10:30 for the ride on a public holiday, so there was no cars, but there was also nothing open.
Yeah.
Tristan did manage to find a vending machine that had pizza in it.
I saw
about
that.
160 Ks. That was the best thing in the world. Second to that, coffee, because that was the first time I actually had a proper cup of coffee in the whole race.
Oh yeah.
And drinking that coffee and eating that croissant, I said to Tristan, like, I need another coffee. This is the best coffee I've ever had.
Mm.
And after the race, he told me it was the worst coffee we've ever drunk. But when you're racing, everything tastes good.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, the ride for you was pretty uneventful. I know, being in the WhatsApp group, that there was chatter of you possibly making a record on the bike portion of the event. So just for the bike portion, but that would all be dependent, of course, on the traffic and things like that once you get to Paris. We do have your finish here. Let's take a look at your finish, and then maybe you can tell us a little bit about how the timing worked out on that for you.
Finish line feels, baby.
Can't have too much fun during a race.
I'm guessing the picture on the left is how you actually finished.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, finish with the bike, not the run, but you don't let details get in the way of a good story.
Exactly, yeah. So how did the bike finish up for you? Fairly uneventful, I assume. And then how was it getting through the city? And I know there was a rule where you have to follow the car at that point and stuff. So tell us a little bit about the bike finish.
So the bike is 290 Ks, and we broke it down to pretty much 100K segments. So just get through the first 100K, get through the second 100K, just like we did with the marathon, break it down to easier chunks.
Right. So
when we were about 250 Ks in, we had what we would call our final stop. Here's something to eat, here's something to drink, have a quick wee, and then ride in. For the last 12 kilometers, I had to stay with the van. So they pulled ahead of me, and I stayed behind them through France to get to the Arc of Triomphe there.
Yeah.
And we hit every single red light. It was astounding. Every single pedestrian red light. There was no traffic. It's a Saturday morning, 6 a.m. There was nothing in the way, but we probably hit 13 red lights. It took an hour and 15 to go 12 kilometers.
Oh, jeez.
I was pretty broken and pretty grumpy and pretty disappointed with that, because as you said, I was on track to break the record.
Mm-hmm.
We had an hour 15 to travel 10 kilometers. We also got directed in the incorrect way and got lost. So by the time we made it to this finish line photo, which is technically the end of the race when they take the photo, I missed the world record by 1 minute.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I'm claiming it. I'd like to claim it. That it was only a minute, and we went the wrong way, kind of thing. But second fastest is good. I'm only the 64th athlete to actually finish the race in 12 years. I think I was the 5th fastest overall, and the fastest Australian. There's only been 2 other Australians, so I'm not going to be claiming that one too much.
Give a little applause on that one. That's great.
Thank you.
Well, now that you've got this under your belt, what are we looking forward to now in the future? You're resting up now. People that are watching my Facebook page for the podcast have seen that Ultraman Australia has announced its field for next year, and that the Ultraman New Zealand will be announcing soon. Will you be popping up at either of these 2 events?
With Ultraman just up the road, Ultraman Oz just up the road, I'm sure I'll be popping up there, even if it's just for the weekend like last time. Last year, or this year, I had a 180K ride as part of my training to get up there for a 7 a.m. start. So that was something I don't have to do anymore, which is fantastic. I've seen the crew. I've seen people that are doing the race, and maybe I'll crew, or maybe I'll just come up and be a cameraman. You never know. But definitely for Ultraman New Zealand, I'm pressuring my crew chief Tristan to put his name in the hat for that one.
Right.
We wrote to the race organizer on the back of a pizza box while we're in France to tell the race organizer that please accept this as one entry for Tristan, because we were so far away from home and we couldn't go through the proper channels, and we also haven't checked with his wife yet. But I'm really looking forward to that one. I think The course looks magic. Wanaka is a magic place.
Uh-huh.
Not taking away from Noosa, but I'd like to see if anyone can do the double crown, do both races. Probably Shane Duffy, but see
Oh,
if anyone else
he'll
takes up that
definitely be
mantle as
trying
well.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be a handful of people that are signing up for both of those. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see for sure. When I was first putting you on the podcast and trying to promote you, I used one of your drawings of you, like a cartoon drawing that you used on Facebook. You've updated that now. This is the new one.
Yep.
Tell me how do you get these?
Look, I have a lot of free time at the moment, and my brain never stops ticking over. I'm a big fan of Chat GPT, and this was done before I left attending one of my daughter's concerts when there was a bit of an intermission, and I had an idea, and just quickly tapped it out. AI is absolutely amazing. All I said to it was create a finish line photo for Arch to Arc for me. And based on the historical data that I've been doing with it, photos that I've uploaded, it uploaded this one. Got it right the first time.
Wow.
Even got my big guts in it and the budgie smugglers in it. Like, I didn't actually say anything to it. I just said a finish line.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing. I love it.
That's great. For people that haven't listened to the podcast yet, I do want to just say you can scan that QR code. You can look for us wherever you get your podcast. Go back and listen to the one with Shane if you have not listened yet. But many people have. It's one of the most popular episodes that we've had come online.
Top five, Larry?
Well, it's not in the top 5 yet, but it's it came out with a bullet. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel here that you're watching so that more people can find out about that. And yeah, it's been great having you back again to tell us about how this all went, Shane. I really appreciate you taking the time to do that. It looks like you're getting the hook anyway.
Yeah, I'm getting the wind up for my wife to have a coffee with her.
Yeah.
Larry, it's been great. Thanks for joining me on the journey. The amount of people and the amount of support that was behind me was blew me away. You asked if I was on my phone or social media during my race. Unfortunately, I was either racing or incapacitated.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing from people around the world. I got the fundraising coordinator to send me the list of donations just to see when they came in, and from around the world. So when Australia was asleep, we still had donations rolling through during the end of my swim.
Yeah.
And that only comes from, podcasts like this where people are tracking what I'm doing and really invested in it. And I'm not talking like $250 donations. These are $20 and $50 and $100 donations, just people putting in to support me, to encourage me to keep going. And it really did. Tristan and I were looking at the donations in the lead up, and I was like, wow, we're at $1,600. Wow, we're at $2,300. And every now and then he'd just give me a tap on the shoulder and give me an update. And it absolutely blew me away. We've got one final dinner coming up on the 19th of September. They're flying up there just to shake my hand and see what it's all about. And I get to relive the story for everyone. Because as you said, the 15 minutes of fame, there's a lot of people that want to talk to me.
Right.
And if you do it as a dinner, then you can tick as many people off as possible and have a good time. And last time I couldn't really drink beer, so this time I'm going to have a beer or two with everyone.
Excellent. And again, that's the QR code that goes to that fundraiser showing on the screen now. Shane, thanks so much for joining us. And for the people that joined in on the YouTube live, thank you for joining in live. And for those of you that are watching it on tape, even better, thanks for coming and checking this out. So thanks, Shane, and good luck with whatever you got coming up after you rest up.
Beer.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Shane.
Thanks, Larry.